Alright, so we're out there carp fishing today. Our setup is about as simple as it gets. We have a medium light and medium 6.5 to 7 foot rods. We are running light tackle, light line, so I think we have two set up with 8-pound test. Braided line, you have to have braided line with this technique. And a 14-pound and 12-pound fluorocarbon and monofilament leader tied directly to the braid. And as you can see, we're just kind of slipping the corn all the way up the hook and casting it out. Now where we are boat position, you can see the oar in the bottom left hand corner of the screen. For the back of the boat, we have another oar at the front of the boat just with a slip. It's a really easy setup, man. And we're casting it out to a spot. And we're casting it out right off the drop-off. So these big suckers and big carp, they just peruse right along that drop-off, eating up everything that they can. And we are casting to a spot, and then we are actually chucking and throwing corn at that spot. So you're going to see here, I'm going to pick up the corn, and I got my bait positioned where I want it. And it's just going to sit there and soak at the bottom, and then I'm just throwing corn to it. Now, big thing with carp fishing, and this is a Jimmy Z technique that I did not know prior to coming out here, is you want to sit with your bail open, and you do not want to flip the bail down and reel down on a fish until you see it taking line off the spool. That's the big key, is when it's taking line off the spool, you're going to sit there and reel down. So, a couple of things, guys. Circle hooks, number 2. Got to have braided line, and we're set up right on a drop-off, casting over into the deep water, and then chucking corn at where our bait landed. And then just the carp, they go and find it, and they'll eat every piece of corn on the bottom of the lake. And that is all we're doing, and you're going to see we're going to get hooked up here pretty soon. Alright, we're hooked up again. It's running this time. I won't. Oh man. Oh man. Oh, dude, it's running right at me.
Real.
I am. Oh my god.
Oh, that's a good one. Do people like flats fishing for red?
Oh my god.
On the flats, catching a brown fish.
Holy shit. It's running in the boat. Oh my god, that's crazy. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what we're doing and how we're fighting this fish. So you could see in the video, Jimmy went and unhooked us from the oars that we were kind of anchored up at with our positioning. And all I'm trying to do, and you'll see it a little bit better with the other angle, is just keep that rod tip bent and keep constant light pressure. So we have our drag set pretty low, so that it's not going to rip it out. Now, with carp, they have no bone in their mouth at all. It's all fleshy. So that's why we're using the light tackle and letting it run and tire itself out, because you will rip the hooks right out of their mouth if you try to beast these huge fish in, especially with no bones in their mouth. Also, we use the circle hook, so we don't even really have to set. All we have to do is reel down, and the hook kind of sets itself. So all I'm going to do right here is keep constant pressure on this line, and constant pressure. You can see how my drag is just ripping like crazy. And we're just going to tire this fish out and run it down in the boat.
it does not like that. See how Tyler's with it?
Yeah. That's insane. Is she gonna go deep? Hopefully she goes deep.
They were trying to run it out.
Oh! Yeah! Oh my god!
You hold this thing.
Dude, please tell me you have a fucking way.
Dude, we can go back to shore if you want. These things are hard to fish. You want to go back to shore?
Yeah, dude, let's go. Because we got those. Just leave those there. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Just hold the net.
Dude, Jimmy C. Carp guy, dude. Yes.
Worth the wait, right?
Worth the wait. Look at that thing.
See, look. Look at right in the snoot.
Yep.
Dude, that would have been a lost fish. Look at that, right in the snoot.
Perfect hook.
No, perfect angling.
Yeah, dude.
There's, like I said, you would have lost that. It's like you said over here,
Yeah.
it looked like it was coming in weird because it'll wrap in the line.
Uh-huh. Alright, so Jimmy Z just put me on a friggin' monster. Now we're gonna go back out and try to get this. Let's go.
Alright, so we went in. That fish ended up weighing 20.5 pounds. 20 pounds, 7 ounces, which is insane. I want to say that's the biggest fish, poundage-wise, I've ever caught in fresh water. I know I caught a 16, 17-pound salmon once, but it was just an insane fight, especially at an 8-pound test. Incredible. Incredible. So we're getting ready to bait back up. Again, all you got to remember, circle hook, braided line, can of corn, cast to your spot, chuck it where you cast it to. We're set up, you can see off the left-hand side, it's very shallow. We're set up right on a drop-off where these big suckers are just cruising that drop-off and eating everything that they can.
And another fish in this state, or even in the Northwest, besides maybe a muskie,
That has
that's
the
gonna
length and the
rip-
weight. Length in the weight.
or that's gonna just rip your line like that.
Like,
And the fact that we're out here catching it on 8-pound tackle makes it amazing.
Well, like I said,
8-pound
you have
tack.
to because you're gonna rip the hook out of it.
Yeah, you can't use heavy tack.
Lure it out of its shell. Now pull hard. Reel it. Tighten your drag up a little bit. Okay, no, that's good. Like I said, dude, just constant pressure, take it easy.
Yep. Yeah, it's on there. Yeah, it's that thing right there, see it? No, it's still wrapped, I think. Got it off.
Dude, look at that!
Get it.
No, dude, no way. I don't have to
Dude,
no way, dude. That's not ready to be netted at all.
Dude, it might be. It's got like, it's like. Oh! Oh!
What is inside its stomach?
I don't know. Dude.
8 cans of corn? It's so bloated from corn that it can't even move.
It couldn't even fight. It was so full. It's just been mounted on corn.
Alright, back to shore.
Holy shit.
Dude, nice save around the pole. That's what got you that's what got us in the first one. Dude, take this, dude. What is wrong with this fish?
15.7 pound. That's a 20 pounder, 20 and a half, a 12 pounder, and a 15 pounder in one freaking afternoon. Do you just think that maybe just not enough people know about fishing? But I mean, like, so someone that just, like you said, someone that just owns a kayak,
Could just
in a pole, if they have braided line, the right hook, and a can of corn, they could catch these fish.
you can at least give it one try while you're out there sunning yourself or something.
Dude, John boat was just chew oar. You could oar yourself somewhere along a drop off, hook yourself on like this.
I used to use my brush trolling motor that I bought with my communion money. Okay? So, I mean, you can get out on the water.
Yeah. And make it happen. Dude, carp fishing and Jimmy Z.
Spawning next to us, and I just dipped the hook down.
She finally took it. Right back where you want.
Right next to it all day.
All day.
Not here.
Alright, we're hooked up again. Done. She ran away from the boat pretty hard.
It's not that high.
It almost feels like this is like around something. It's off. It's on something.
Oh, dude,
Oh.
real.
Now
fucking
it's now okay. Alright. That might be a little bit better fish.
real. Yeah. Dude, you guys- it doesn't know.
Hey guys, I apologize for the little smudge in the screen, but I have got to just say, you've got to get out here and try to catch these fish. I have to fast forward through a lot of this because, again, about another 5-minute fight on this fish, but I stuck my nose up at carp for a long time, but they are an invasive species, but they are one hell of a fun fish to catch. I mean, we're on a 115, 150 acre lake, and this is going to be our fourth 30-inch carp of the day, over 12 pounds. I mean, just incredible that you can do this in fresh water. And if you got a John boat, you can do this with any type of boat. It's just amazing. A can of corn, a number 2 hook, and a rod with braided line. It's unbelievable.
Bring him back. Bring him back. Did I get overly confident? We're just letting him do his thing.
And it's surfaced. That's how.
Boom.
New record.
4, dude.
New record 4 at 30 and over.
Guy Jimmy Z.
Dude.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
£20 fish.
20-pound fish. The man that was bored in a John boat. Carp fishing. Carp fishing. What's the world come to? 20-pound behemoths.
Dude, it's fun to catch bass, but you can't catch a 20-pound bass.
Can't catch a 20-pound bass. Not in Michigan.